Hello, welcome to We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
And I am Stevie Wildcard.
Every week, Steve Wildcard and I get together and we do our best to overcome the various issues and obstacles that life throws our way in order to get something done. Most recently, it's been a supernatural superhero culty comedy comic called Deathless, and we are on issue 3. We're working really hard to get this issue done so we can start a Kickstarter and get it out into the flipping world. Steven, so far I think it's been going pretty well. How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling great, dude. The book and the pages are progressing, and it's looking great.
Let's not pretend like we're not super depressed because our guest postponed. Steven, we're supposed to have a special guest this week, but we're going to save it for a couple weeks. We're gonna save it. We rescheduled, so we have something
It
special.
just means that you guys get 2 weeks of badassery, because next week is the live episode,
Yes.
And then the following week will be special guest week.
It's true, dude. I can't wait. Yeah, guys, we're gonna have Olin Rogers back on the show. Super excited.
Woo!
I can't wait. It's so much fun to get to talk to Olin Rogers in general. And then especially fun because he's been doing the Haunt Hounds Ghost Show, and I'm just like, I can't wait to talk about ghosts again. Like, I'm so excited. But let's not be bogged down by that slight disappointment, Olin. I want to talk about, dude. The page that you sent me this week made me so happy. And I was like, we're finally getting to that point in the book where I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I was hoping to see. This is what I was excited to write. Here it comes. So like, how did you feel drawing that little butt this week?
that little cute statue,
Yeah.
climbing around with his buttocks hanging out, as the Gump Man would say. It was great, and like I was even like excited going into that page because I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Since it's the statue of David, basically, there's dick hanging, okay? And I have to decide how I'm gonna do this. So I'm like, I get to have fun with little leaves everywhere. No, so I got to have fun with like perspectives and arms blocking certain areas as death is happening. So
the arms block everything but the David dick.
It's just
like
all
the
dick.
David dog. It's all dick. Oops, all dick. That's what that page is.
Oops, all pinky finger hanging from the statue of David for some reason.
Okay, we didn't get very far in this episode without bringing up statuesque tongs, and I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I don't apologize.
Oh man, in a different world, in a different world, Deathless manifests in someone's dildo. I mean, that
is. I mean, that's like a bad Rick and Morty episode waiting to happen, right? Like, I'm dildo Deathless. I'm
dildo Deathless.
I'm gonna get all these guys. Okay. Anyway, so we're working on this fun supernatural cult comic. Steven, this page that you did is amazing. I'm pretty excited about it. I can't wait to color it. I started coloring this week. I'm gonna say I had like a fuck ass this week because like I did a lot of coloring this week, but I didn't finish my work like I wanted to. I really wanted to get a full page colored, and I just
those earlier pages though do have a lot of stuff going on.
And you know part of it, Steven, is I started getting in my head where I was like, oh no, some of these items on the page need to represent specific characters, and the colors have to be right and based on these specific characters, or else it's not going to be. I mean, it'll still be good, but it won't make as much sense. And I was like, I would like these things to have associations with the book, so you can kind of just like a little bit of colorful foreshadowing, And I was like, but. So I'm sitting there, I was like doing the math and trying to remember like what colors, it's like the Power Rangers or like Captain Planet, where it's like our characters.
I always forget Mary's color actually.
Well, she and M kind of have like swapped colors.
Yes.
Yeah, because she has the teal color and M has the pinkish, like purple pink color. But yeah, dude. So I was like doing all that math and figuring it out. But like I will say I freaking fuck-assed. Like I did not succeed this week, which sucked. What I did do, Steven, is I wrote and recorded a song for someone as a commission. I also recorded a special thing with you for our live show, which we're not going to spoil, but like that was fun, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I feel like I did a lot. I just didn't do the thing that I said I was going to do because I'm a freaking liar. I'm a terrible person. I'm a monster, and I should just be punished.
It's great though because we really are like we've never done this where we've had like this. We're going to have the book basically done before we even launch the Kickstarter. So it gives us a lot less stress during the Kickstarter.
Dude, 100%.
It's going to be so awesome it's going to be so awesome for people to back a Kickstarter than have a book in their hands within like a month or two of them backing it,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because we're just going to have to get the printing costs. That's what we're after, you know. So it's like, okay, yeah, I can't wait, dude. I can't wait for people to have the book. I'm super excited. And what's cool is like the next book's already written, so we just jump right into working on the next thing and going forward with
Mm-hmm.
it. That's it's pretty cool. Dude, I otherwise though, how was your week?
It was great. My mom's birthday was this weekend, so we
Happy
went
birthday, dude.
to my mom, did tacos, and I baked her a yellow. Her favorite cake is a yellow cake with chocolate frosting, which is a very simple sounding cake. But yeah,
Super basic, and you don't fix what's not broken, I
yeah.
guess.
I mean, it's
Just
it's
like if it
perfection, really.
it
But yeah,
works.
so I made her a cake. We had a nice gathering on Saturday. Then we took the girls to go see Inside Out 2 on Sunday.
Yeah, nice.
With
Oh, yeah, that was a good. Like, I enjoyed it. I liked Inside Out too. So much of those movies, though, I find myself just like I feel so bad for Joy. Like the whole time, I'm just like, Joy, find it in yourself to kick sadness into that void. Like, just kick sadness. Do it for all of us. Like, strangle anxiety, kick sadness into the void. Like, just like, please, I beg of you,
Joy, please win,
win.
win.
Just win a little. Just please, But like, yeah,
You can let anger like be there, just kind of on a leash, when it's necessary.
I feel like anger really should have been doing more in those movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just imagining in that room those people. Like, just as soon as sadness shows up in the first movie, it's like she immediately ruins everything, and it's like, put her in a cage. What are you doing? Like anxiety. Now here's the thing: anxiety took care of them real quick. She's just like, I'm gonna get these other emotions out of here. Joy wasn't like that at all. Joy was like, oh, I'm gonna suffer this forever. Like that's just like, oh. Anyway, yeah, dude. So did the family like the movie?
Yes, yeah. It was a good movie. It was touching.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of lessons for like that teen, that tween teen era, which is good because like I mean, you're Cammy's there, getting there, and
Oh, Cammy, yeah,
getting there,
Cammy's
it's like
totally.
yeah.
Cammy has a pretty BA haircut right now. She did like a Tina did like a separation and like did a shave again
Oh,
underneath
cool.
her hair, so she has like kind of like a pretty cool like little like shag haircut with like a cutout. But then Cambria wanted it. Cambria has rainbow colors on her patch of hair right there, so she looks pretty awesome right now,
This,
actually.
this looks like a little X-Man. Just
Yeah, she
oh,
does. She looks like Jubilee. Like yeah, just some sort of like what's her face? Negasonic teenage like
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
warhead.
Dude,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that too.
Oh, dude, that's next month. It's
Yeah,
coming, and
Deadpool's in
not even
July.
like next. I mean, it is the 25th of July, but
Yeah.
still
Dude, yeah,
exciting.
it's going to be soon. I can't wait. I didn't have a super busy week. Like it stormed. It was a little crazy. I'll tell you though, Steven, I'll tell you, I had a weird week. I had a weird one. I had a weird week.
Mm.
So I had like one person tell me that they had a crush on me this week out of no, like for me, out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like one of those things
Weren't
where I was,
even
yeah, where
wasn't even on
I
your
was just like,
radar.
this isn't a thing, and I was just like, oh, what do I, how do I navigate this? I was just like, so I did my best, I think I did a good job where I was like, I'm flattered, and tried to, do the thing where I'm just like, I have to navigate these weird things where I'm like, I mean, you live far away. And even, I'm just like, we don't really know each other very well. And like, so it was just strange because the way it was presented, kind of made me feel like obligated to respond in a way where it was like,
Mm.
oh, this feels like rejecting someone and I don't like it. And like, it's so odd. And then I had another situation that I was like navigating poorly as well, dude.
Mhm.
And it was like, I got in this conversation with someone and okay, she did the thing that people do, and I do it all the time, where it's just like, oh, I'm not as cute as I used to be, or like you say something like that, and like, there's truth to it to yourself, and you're like, and it's like there's like that bit of insecurity and the bit of like acknowledgement of like, hey, I'm just not as young and attractive as I used to feel, or at least, in for me. And so like she said that and I was like, oh, like you're still cute, and I said that, and it kind of like snowballed a little bit where it's like we were kind of flirting a little bit, but I was like, oh wait, I'm not dating or anything, like, I just want to make sure that that's, like I'm not dating, and I'm just not, I didn't know, and it sucks because it was just like an awkward, weird thing to go through because I was like, oh no, am I hurting this person's feelings? I don't want to hurt this person's feelings. I didn't mean to suggest that like we were gonna flirt or do this type of thing. I was like, crap, I'm literally just not doing this right now. I don't have
Mhm.
time for it. I'm not looking for that at all with, and at all. I'm focusing on being a parent. I'm focusing on doing like side jobs and focusing on our comics, and
Mhm.
like I do enough with this and like my movies and everything that we're doing. So I was just like, but after after the fact, you we kind of like talked through that a bit, and she seemed upset. So it's someone like I've met before.
It's local.
It's a local person, so it's someone who like I could potentially
Actually,
in another situation where I have more time and energy and don't feel like this weird just weight of the world on me. Maybe I would love, be thankful to date this person. But at the
mhm.
moment I'm just like I'm not. But dude, I felt this. I felt like, oh no, what did I do? I accidentally hurt someone. And but it was like so innocent and kind of like I didn't mean to. And then I felt bad. So I wrote on Twitter. I was like, "Oh, I hurt someone's feelings by mistake, and because I didn't want to date, and I called someone cute and didn't want to date, and I hurt their feelings by mistake, and crap." And I just wanted to like, because that's I don't know, it's what social media is to me. It's just like, hey, here's my diary. I'm gonna write funny thoughts I have, and then just like here's something that happened to me, and I feel weird about it, and I don't know how to express it.
Mhm.
And I mean, that's why I write, because I'm like, just shake this out somehow. And it's like, if it's not going to become a story, it's just going to become some weird, like billboard on my life for as I drive by. I'm like,
Yeah.
here's a thing I experienced. Like, check it out. That was a stop. So the signpost up ahead reads, Anthony made a mistake. And it's like, I'm just,
I made a mistake.
oh, wish I could take. Yeah, dude. Seriously. So, but then for like unfortunately, I don't know. I don't even know how to like qualify it, but like then she saw my post on Twitter and was upset that people were saying things about the post on Twitter, like making kind of making assumptions about her and say,
Mhm.
like say and like making jokes about saying like I'm cute, but they don't want to date me and such. And so they were like, so people were making
I
jokes
can,
and
yeah, I
and,
can
and,
see how that could shake in that way. And
yes, yeah, and so I'm just like, oh crap. So I was like, okay, I hurt someone's feelings by accident, and then I posted about being upset about hurting someone's feelings, and then that ended up hurting their feelings again. And I'm like,
now Anthony's going for 3 out of 3 by talking about it right now. So
that's what I'm afraid of, dude. And okay, and the reason I want to bring it up, and then that's exactly the thing, right? Is I'm always doing that. Like I'm always a person who's talking about my life, and I'm here, talking on the podcast about the things that happen, and of course it's just going to be like this, like kind of myopic, like solipsistic, like just it's my unique perspective of the things that happen. Like yeah, I'm in, and I can only talk about them with like humility as much as I can, and just be like, hey, I sucked at like I made a mistake, I shouldn't have done this, but at the same time I'm like, I don't feel guilty about sharing the thing that happened, and I don't feel guilty now about talking about it in general. I like it would be one thing if I was like, oh, here's this person and look at what they did, but that's not the case. The case is I'm just like, hey, generally speaking, I accidentally hurt someone's feelings, and it sucks. And then the whole, I guess it's just like anything else we do in social media or on this podcast or anything else. Like I'm looking for to go like, hey, this was uncomfortable and I don't know what to do with it, and because I know there are other people out there who can relate to feeling uncomfortable and not knowing what to do in their respective situations, whatever they may be. And I like it's frustrating because in my eyes it's such a silly innocent interaction, and it's no villain. Like she didn't do anything wrong, I didn't do anything wrong, and it's just weird. But then like in then talking about it, I don't think I did anything wrong, or in writing about it, and I didn't do anything wrong, but somehow it upset her, which I don't want to do. But at the same time, how do you navigate that if you don't, morally speaking, I don't think that it.
like I don't think people like understand too, to some extent. Like, yes, your best friend lives within distance of you, but not really. I mean, you live like a couple townships away technically now
Yeah.
because of where we just live respectively. Yes, it's like 45 minutes away, but those 45 minutes are like so much time in these stages of our life. So like you basically being a single dad, living on the island that you live on, like social media is your vent place, is, you know, your place to navigate
Yeah.
circumstances that kind of happen to you. You like, neither one of us really goes out and hangs with a group of
E-
friends who we can vent to. It's just not like that
Exactly.
for either of us. I mean, even for
Exactly.
me, like I have my brother and Tina and, and Rachel and you. You know, that's like my squad
Yeah.
right now. So
Yeah, we're in this weird bubble, like just this. It's such a weird time right now, right? It's the whole Black Mirror of it all because I understand. Like there are people who are on social media, seeking like with different intentions, right? It's a whole spectrum of intention. Everyone wants different things, but like I'm not trying to vilify anyone or trying. I'm not like that post wasn't like, hey, look, I was right in this situation. I literally was just like, I hurt someone's feelings and I feel bad about it. And I was just, and then, then there's a spectrum of people saying things like trying to make me feel better. That's what it was. And I think the perspective that gets lost in general is because of what you just said. Like that is as much as the internet isn't the real world to a lot of people, to people like us and to people who don't get
that's
out
the
very
bar.
much.
That's the, you know, going out and hanging out with friends. Like
100%. So those people that show up and say those things, although they might be something that might stick in your stomach a little bit and be like, oh, that didn't feel great for me, that's just unfortunately someone peeping over my shoulder in a bar while I talk to my friends, because yeah, that's what you do in a bar is you talk to your friends, and yes, it is in public, and yeah, people could overhear if they wanted to, but most of the time they don't. But I understand that it's a more complicated situation with social media because it is open. It used to be on Twitter that you had circles and such, so if you wanted to say something that was like remotely private but to that bubble of people, you could do that. You can't, unfortunately, you can't do that anymore, you know. So it's just like it's frustrating because I don't want to hurt someone's feelings, but at the same time, I want to be able to always express the things that I'm feeling and like what I'm experiencing, right? And I know that's a relatively new situation. We haven't done that all the time, you know, but it's not that new. I mean, I had LiveJournal, I had
mhm.
MySpace, I had, you know, like that's LiveJournal is literally, it's just like, hey, here's my diary, read it if you would like, you know. And it's we've been doing this for so long that like now I understand that it's complicated and frustrating to be the unfortunate subject of an idiot's post or whatever, you know. But like I promise you, I was well intended. Like I didn't mean anything by it, and I certainly wouldn't intend for anyone to get hurt. But then I'm like, what do I do? Like you said, you know, like I'm tripling it up by talking about it here, but I'm also like, I guess I'm just trying to understand it and know whether or not like, what are you allowed to talk about? And is it just a matter of like recognizing, oh, well, like I know for the most part, let's just say like my Uncle Gary's not going to watch this, you know? So it's like, haha, am I free to like, as well, I could talk about Uncle Gary because I know he's never going to watch it. I'm like, that doesn't seem like a good, bar. Like it, you know, there has
Mhm.
to be some way to, and I think for me, you know, and that's where I get to this point where like I think for me the bar is intention. Like I think I'm trying to communicate this thing, and it's not that I think that you need to agree with me or like see anyone as a hero or villain or anything. Just like, hey, this thing sucked, and oh my gosh, isn't life weird? That's pretty much all we're doing here. It's just connecting. It's like, you know, and it's sometimes it is connecting about whether or not someone thinks you're right or wrong or good or
Mhm.
bad, and sometimes it's just going like, oh my god, how do you do that? And people are like, I did not very well. And then I just
We all
go,
just struggle and fuck it up, really. I mean,
yeah,
that's what we
we
kind of all do.
exactly. And I guess like all of this to say like I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry, like I like it stinks because I really, and this is, I mean, this is part of why I'm gonna die alone, Stephen. Like, I am not great at handling these situations because I'm like, I want to, I'm not trying to invalidate anyone's feelings. But I at the same time don't like, I don't feel that what I said was bad. But I understand that it hurts someone's feelings, which is totally valid. But I'm also like, I don't think that anyone at any point has the like ability or right to tell someone what not to share if it's their experience. So I like it's, and not that they were but just in such a way kind of lightly saying like, hey, what you're saying could hurt someone's feelings. I want you to be aware of that, which kind of just makes me think like, God, now I'm going to be a little more like anxious all the time. Like, which I already think about that stuff that's why most of my posts and things are about monsters or like silly nonsense or centaur or whatever, because I'm just like, there are no victims here. If I ever get pulled into a court and it's just like the court of mythological characters would like to like a word with you.
Oh, you're so screwed.
I'm screwed. I'm screwed. I've got like they're gonna show me Medusa. I'm gonna like live.
Centaur just rides up. By the way, it's a man dick. But
I'm just like
mad about that. He's mad about that trade.
But dude, it's frustrating because like I don't know. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I also have been and like people who have been watching our show for a while know that like I've gone through things that I couldn't talk about on here, and it kind of eats at me. And I think it becomes like painfully obvious to everyone who watches that like I'm suffering in silence through something weird, and it stinks. I don't want to go through that. And so like yeah, there are going to be, of course, there are times where people are entitled to their privacy, and there are things that are just like sensitive issues that I wouldn't talk about or inflict on anyone. But I don't know, dude. This particular thing,
I think some people think that like maybe not so much with our podcast. I hope they don't think that, but like a lot of the vibe that people say they get when they watch us is that it feels like they're just hanging out and listening to us talk. And the truth of the matter is that's basically what it is, because Anthony and I, because we're busy, this podcast kind of doubles as like a catch up for us every week. So like, for example, even in such tragic situations as like Mike passing, like us talking about Mike was the majority of Anthony and I really talking about Mike, even in like real life, was on the podcast. Like that was like we of course we saw each other at the like wake. Of course we talked in between, but like the majority of like even us discussing such a huge thing in our life was like via this platform, because for us to remain what we are, I guess, and who we are, like this is just how we do it. Like we talk to each other through like texts through the week, but this is Anthony and Steven hanging out, and then every now and then we get a treat and we get to go hang out in person and eat pizza and drink beer. But like this is our once a week hangout basically. So like that's why these conversations and these things do come up and these things do get spoken about, because this is where we would talk about it if we were meeting up in person. And that's kind of like the format of what this whole thing has been, from the start. So
yeah, absolutely, dude. And I think I said it before we started recording, where I was like, the only thing that's been on my mind, or like the main thing that's been on my mind that I'm like, this is like frustrating me, and I just need to get it out a little bit. Is this thing that happened where I'm like, I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about this, and then I'm struggling because I'm like, am I not allowed to talk about this because I don't upset anyone, but also like I'm upset and that's not cool. I was like, it's so it's frustrating because like you're saying, this is literally just our friendship. Like this is us sitting here talking together, and I'm just like, I don't know, to the greatest extent of like my empathy. I promise, like I mean well, I don't want to hurt your feelings by talking about this, but like Steven's my best friend and we're just sitting here. I'm just like, I'm struggling with this. But anyway, dude, so I had that situation happen, and then I was in Target with Atlas. We're walking around, right? And I was like, all right, buddy. All right, it's summer. We're gonna find some water balloons. We're gonna get some stuff. We also had to buy a birthday gift for my nephew. And I was like, we're gonna get some stuff. Let's do this. We're shopping. And then I looked at my phone and I had a call from Stevie Walker.
Oh yes.
It's actually Steve Tony Banana Hands.
My other half is what it says in his phone.
Yeah. My better half, Steve.
My better half.
So I saw a call from you, and dude, my heart always drops.
I even said, like, before I want everyone to know, before I called him, I said, this call that you're about to receive is not tragic in any way. And then I called him.
Okay. So, and he did, because so I saw the call, I felt my heart drop, and then I saw a text message, and I was like, okay, here it is. And I clicked on the text message and it said that, and I was like, oh, I feel better. Like there's a relief that sweeps over me when that happens, So I was like, okay. So I call Steven, and Steven, Steven, I don't are you okay talking about like the potential of this?
I think we should put a pin in this just for
Okay,
now.
okay. So I know how to talk about it. So yeah, so Steven, so I call Steven back, and thankfully no one died. And awkwardly, I was in the middle of Target while you were talking to me about.
I didn't know about that part.
I know. So we'll talk about this in the future. I can't talk about it right now because but Steven and I have some things in the works, and we'll bring it up in the future. And let's just say that like it's not necessarily super appropriate to talk about in Target. And I'm sitting there just like and like
But
I
it could be maybe we don't have to do the jobs we do anymore.
yeah, it's true. But yeah, we're working on
Maybe.
we have
You know,
some things that we
I am not a pessimist, but I'm also, I guess I'm a realist. I just don't see like amazing things, like completely life-changing things happen to me. So I'm like always like, there's no way, but maybe, and then that'd be amazing. But
yeah,
anyways,
no, it could happen. I mean, I think about that all the time with the comics and the movie. I'm just like I do think that like something's going to catch, or I'm just like I often think that it's going to be like Deathless once it's completed, where I'm like,
mhm.
that's a book because people will love to read the whole thing.
So another thing we can do too when Deathless is completed is possibly print like custom foil covers for each like
Oh,
villain that each had their book. So like reprint all the issues in like a special cover and then do like some sort of cool package sale. I don't know.
that would be
A lot of
cool.
cool stuff we can do.
Heck yeah, dude. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot about the movies lately and like acting and like what we can do with Deathless. And I yeah, I'm with you. I'm a little bit pessimistic about it after, we've done this is our 199th episode. And I'm just like, why aren't we famous yet, Steven? I think we have a pretty good show. I should probably cut more clips and stuff when I can. I think that's part of it. Is I just like I have not had the time to do all of those little things that probably do help, but I just suck at them. Speaking of that, what do you think? Like, is there anything you want to do with the live show that we haven't really discussed yet? Like, what's something that you're like looking forward to with the live show?
I think the audience pitch thing is a cool idea, but that's something we already kind of discussed.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think my favorite part about live shows is just interacting with the chat. So really that's like what I'm most excited for and looking forward to is just
Steven's
seeing.
like, I'm really excited to have a different co-host in an entire chat. Like, if you weren't here, but there was a chat bar here with other people, I'm like, Steven, I'm going to join that chat bar and make you talk. I'm just gonna be the one asking questions. But no, I'm excited for that too. I actually like, and I'm so thankful for Sean. He does such a good job, like moderating and just hosting, basically doing that whole thing. But yeah, I'm excited for it, dude. I'm excited for them to ask us questions live because I know a lot of the listeners and viewers have interesting questions that they ask us week after week, and I kind of like I don't like to ever think about the questions before we record. I like just like looking at them, be like, I feel like how many werewolf nipples, or like well, like whatever. I like just like being shocked by the questions a little bit. So that'll be fun for Sean to just like pop some questions up for us and just have us answer them and such. Are you? How sober are you going to be for the show
Ooh,
next
I
week?
gotta buy that bottle of blueberry wine, don't I?
Yeah, I haven't had any alcohol in a while, so I was like,
Yeah, me either, honestly.
yeah, I was like, I haven't had like a beer, so I'm like, oh, that'll be interesting, really. But yeah, dude, I'm excited for it. So if you're out there and you want to join us next week. It'll be next Wednesday at 8 p.m. or is it 8:30? I forget what I said. I think it's 8, but
It might be 8. I'll
maybe 8.
check it.
All right. So
Who knows? We don't.
so
But we'll be there.
we're gonna be there one way or another. But yeah, please join us. I'll post the link below to the show. You can hit the notify button so you're reminded when our live show's out. But yeah, you're gonna be able to talk to us, ask us questions, or just like watch whatever nonsense we have going on that night. Otherwise, Steven, what do you have going on this week?
This week, what do I have going on this weekend? Next week is 4th of July, so I'm gonna have like one of those weird situations. This is like the first 4th of July since I've been here that has been like on a Thursday, so that's
Yeah.
gonna be weird having that day off and
Oh,
then going back to work Friday. But I think we're gonna go to her brother's house. But you guys will hear about that in the live show, I guess, prior to. What am I doing this week? Oh, friends of mine, Dan and Jess, they are moving away, so I'm getting together with other people from worship, and like we're going to a park and gonna do food and like bye and like have a bye
you're
party
gonna
for them.
become a boy band. Just
NSYNC, yeah. It was an NSYNC themed. Good, I was kidding.
as it
But
should.
yes. we're just gonna go to the park and have fun, and so that's Friday.
Are you
I
gonna
don't
get
remember.
any? You gonna get any comic book stuff done, Steven? You're just gonna go party and be a
Oh
voice
yeah, no, it's all
you gonna
party.
be for your musical. You're like your music group now. That's what's going on. You're
It's my super group.
oh, that makes sense. Now
After we're done like wrapping this, I'll tell you something really quick about all that. But no, of course I'm gonna work on the comic this week. Next page is Deathless transferring to another being or another vessel on the page, so that's gonna be fun to
I
draw.
can't
And
wait.
then
That's gonna be so
yeah,
cool.
it's getting really close because I was like looking ahead and like that part is over with after that page, and then it's basically like yeah, it's gonna be like some more dialogue, and then
Pretty
it's
easy
the
stuff.
big ending
Yeah.
thing that happens, and so yeah, that's cool. We're getting there.
Dude, that's awesome. I'm definitely gonna finish coloring this page. That's really what I'm focusing on. That and then like getting ready for the live show is just like putting together anything. I like our intro. I think I'm just gonna leave it as it is. So like I don't know. Maybe I'll put something together, but we'll see.
You could maybe put Chris Kata's 8-bit version of it on. I
Oh,
like that.
that's true. I did love that. He's such a
It's
good.
so cool.
But thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being a part of our show and our colony for 199 episodes. We really hope you'll join us for the live show next week. It's either at 8 or 8:30. I think 8 o'clock. The link's all below, and we can't wait to see you there.
We'll figure it
We'll
out.
figure it out. We'll be there one way or another. I'm going to show up half an hour early no matter what because I have to know the parking situation, Steven. I freak out about that stuff. But thank you all. We really do love you and we appreciate the heck out of you. Steven, what do you want to say to the people?
I love you. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for your continuous support and love. We genuinely appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope you all have super awesome weeks. Better weeks than me, even.
That's right. We love you. Thank you so much. I'm Anthony.
I am Stevie Wildcard.
This has been We Have Issues. See you next time.
Bazumba! Call me Sheldon because it's Bazoom. Boom! Booey boom. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy.